Hello everyone, this is Celeste Lilly, Junior SEO Specialist, and today I will be completing a mini site audit of Upchieve. So the first thing we're going to do is look at Upchieve's homepage, and as you can see right here, they clearly say who they are and what services they provide. Free online tutoring and college counseling with the CTA right here. This is great. One thing is, if I go right here, this will show us the meta title, and currently this only says Upchieve. So there's a missed opportunity here. This is where you can also include information about the services you provide. So I would make sure to include something that says free online tutoring and college counseling somewhere here, but make sure the meta title doesn't get too long, as you do not want it to get cut off. We're going to move on to the blog content on Upchieve. If you notice, it's not up here in the header. You actually need to scroll all the way down to the footer of the website, and even then it's all the way down where it says our blog. I'd recommend moving this up to the header, maybe under about, or even under students, because this information is to serve the students who go on Upchieve's website. The footer is the lowest valued real estate on a website, so many users don't even make it down here. To make things easier for the user, I think it would be best to put it up here. Now going on to the blog. One thing that this website needs a little rehab on is EAT, which is expertise, authority, and trustworthiness. Because this is about educating children, this kind of goes under the YMYL, or your money, your life category. And we really need to step up EAT, especially because it's under that category. And what that means is, on this blog, we have blog writers and the names are included, but when you click on it, there's no information about the author. It's just the blogs that they have produced. So I believe that this website could significantly benefit from proper author pages, where it can be explained who this author is and why they are the expert on these topics. Why are they qualified to write about productivity? Why are they qualified to write about math? Are they a math teacher? Are they studying math in university? Something to qualify them as an expert in this field. I think also you can use author or person schema to help with this as well. Authority, or the A in EAT, is you're going to want to take a look at the backlink profile, and basically you're going to want a lot more links to be seen as an authority in the education niche. So if it's possible to obtain backlinks from the schools that Upchieve partners with to provide free tutoring, or universities, anything like that would be great domains, because it's in the niche. If it's a school district, that would be like a .gov or .edu website. That would be an amazing place to score a backlink from, to prove that Upchieve is an authority figure in the student education niche. The trustworthiness aspect, I think we can go back to the blog here. There's a lot of tips on how to help with productivity, focus, specific things in math, science, different subjects like that. What I think that Upchieve can definitely benefit from is maybe creating a case study or publishing a research piece about the impact on students' grades after using Upchieve's tutoring. This will show, like, hey, our services really work. This is the impact it had on these students. It goes a step further than just the testimonials that were on a homepage, because you're providing actual numbers to people, and this is going to persuade people to be like, okay, this person went from a C to an A in this class, I can do that too, and they're more inclined to sign up for Upchieve's tutoring or college counseling services. I'm going to go into some blog basics. If I click on this Boost Your Productivity with the Pomodoro Technique blog post, we can see in the URL here we have the title, but we also have the date. Now this isn't a huge deal. This is not it's not a ranking factor to have your keyword super close to the root. However, having this date when it's not necessarily significant to this blog post is kind of hard on the eyes for a user. A user would prefer to see exactly what the title is, as close to the root as possible. It's just easier on the eyes than having to see like a bunch of dates. This is like evergreen content. Students will always be using the Pomodoro technique, so the date isn't helpful in this case. But I did see another blog post that was specifically about SAT testing possibly being abolished. Maybe keeping the date there could be important because that is something that is time sensitive. This blog post isn't time sensitive, so this date isn't necessarily important in your blog's URL. That doesn't mean you need to go out and change every single blog post URL to delete this aspect of it, but in the future, for a better user experience, it would be great to exclude this information unless it is absolutely necessary. Now we can go into more specific blog post advice. I'm going to go onto the on-page SEO checker tool in Semrush. Here it will give some pages that it believes there's opportunities to improve on. It has different ideas of what you can do. It's a pretty great tool. We're just going to click on the first link here. And as you can see in the URL, it says simplifying AMP interpreting expressions. Simplifying and interpreting expressions. Now, I understand that this AMP stands for the ampersand here, but if I were a user and I'm looking this up because I don't understand what expressions are, I don't know how to simplify them, I don't know how to interpret them, maybe I don't even really know what expressions means in this context, it just showed up on my homework assignment and I just want to figure out what this is. Having this AMP interpreting expressions and not seeing this like ampersand, or maybe not knowing that this is called an ampersand, can confuse the user. They may think that there is something called AMP expressions. So I think that it would be useful to maybe remove this as it's not too important. Google's very smart. They can understand when there's supposed to be an and or an or, stop words like that, and the user can understand that as well. A look at this piece of content. So we see here's like a definition of what algebra is, and then we kind of just go into a specific example of simplifying and interpreting the expression. I looked up simplifying expressions right here, and the featured snippet gives us a definition of what is simplification of an algebraic expression. And we don't really have that in this piece of content, which sort of tells us that, okay, Google is saying people who are looking this up, they may not be familiar with the term simplification. They may not be familiar with interpreting expressions. They may not know what in the world they're even looking up. You know, this could have just shown up on a homework assignment. The user is like, I don't know what simplifying is. I don't know what interpreting is. I don't know what an algebraic expression is. So it's your job to include that piece of information for them. And if we look right here on the Semrush tool, they do ask you to use target keywords in the body in H1, which is simplifying expressions, simplifying algebraic expressions. By including those definitions, that can kind of like naturally give you those H1 and body tags with the keyword because you're explaining it. So it's a natural way to plug that in and help your content better benefit the user. So I'm just going to use this little Chrome extension here. We're going to look at the meta description, and here we can see it's pretty long. The first sentence is what is an algebraic expression, and then the second sentence actually describes what this post is going to be about. And because it's so long, this is definitely going to get cut off if it shows up in the SERP. So I would recommend a rewrite of this. Since the first sentence is just very general, I would maybe delete that and expand on this second sentence here, because you're actually explaining what this blog post is about, and that can be very helpful for the user if they see this meta description in the SERP. I think this will be under the recommended 120 to 150 characters, so just rewording this, adding a little bit more, and I think you'll be great. So now I'd like to take a look at this blog post, What is Geometry? This was not on the Semrush on-page SEO checker. However, I stumbled upon it while looking through the website. So I just really want to stress the importance of links. Here we have algebra linked to in the beginning. We have it linked again towards the end of the blog post, and then we have it linked again at the very end of the page. We have it linked 3 times in this one blog post with the same exact anchor text. And basically, this looks kind of spammy. This does not make for a great user experience. Having the same exact link with the same exact anchor text linked 3 times throughout a blog post is not going to look good on any blog post, really, actually. There's no need for this. It's redundant. You want your internal links to look natural. You want it to flow through the content. So right here, we're defining geometry. So explaining what algebra is, linking to it, that totally makes sense. Having to link to it again right here doesn't make so much sense. You already did it before. We already know if we want this definition of algebra, we can link above, we can click the link above. We don't need to click it here. And here's just some additional information. You already included this. You don't need to link to algebra again. And now for the external links. If we go to simplifying and interpreting expressions, there's no external links. And here in What is Geometry, we reference a definition, put a little asterisk next to it, and then at the very bottom of the page, we say where the source is. And look, if I'm a user and I see an entire URL typed like this and pasted and not hyperlinked, I'm going to be a little annoyed, because then that means if I really want to find out more information on this definition of geometry, I'm going to have to copy and paste this into my browser and look it up on my own. When something like this should be hyperlinked, you need to cite your sources, and this really helps with EAT as well. You want to be deemed a trustworthy website, and to do that, you need to cite your sources. So Merriam-Webster, great source. That's exactly where people go to get definitions. If you want to cite something else, like maybe more examples, you should find websites that are also trustworthy to link to, but you want to be seen as a trusted website, and to do that, you need to link to other trusted websites as well. You need to seriously go through all these blog posts and find out where maybe you can reference a definition or other geometry, algebra, etc., different types of examples as well. So now we'll be going into the Semrush site audit tool. We're going to go ahead and look at the issues and errors we have, which starting out, we have 35 pages with duplicate meta descriptions. And what this means is that we're missing out on 35 different opportunities to target different keywords. It's not very likely that all 35 of these pages are targeting the exact same keyword or keywords. So it would be highly beneficial to go through each one of these pages and create new unique meta titles that are relevant to that page. And here we have 13 broken links and 9 pages with, these are all 404 status codes. This does not make for a great user experience at all. Although this is like a relatively low number, you always want to think of the user first. So having internal broken links, not a great user experience. If I'm a user and I try to find out more information about something and it's not here, like I can't find out about self-care, oh man, I might just go to Google and look up self-care in high school on my own. I'm more inclined to go somewhere else for that information if you don't sort of like spoon feed it to me. So it's really important to fix these internal links as to make for a better user experience. And going on to more specific details about these internal links, if we look down here, where is it? We have 8 links with no anchor text and 4 links with non-descriptive anchor text, which is also really bad for user experience. This is especially important to make sure that the website is accessible. People who use screen readers need the right context when links are there. So having a non-descriptive anchor text like click here, it may be read weirdly and not make sense at all. Not even having anchor text could also lead to the screen reader not being able to provide any information about the page that is being linked. And again, non-descriptive anchor text is also really bad because it provides little value to crawlers, as there's no indication on what the page is about. And, this could impact rankings. So to make for a better user experience and to give some context to the crawlers, please fix this up. This has been Celeste Lilly. Thank you so much, Semrush, for the opportunity to audit the site, and thank you, Upchief, for volunteering. Thank you.